Hello Rum fans, welcome along. It's me, your RamblingRumspert. I'm just here to do a little bit of a video on Manchester RumFest. I will be there, so if you do see me, you want to come up and say hi, feel free. Well aware there's probably not many people watching this going, but if it does get out to people and you want to come and say hi, feel free. I am gonna be this year there with two friends. Big Dave, big friend of the channel, will be joining me, but I am making a weekend of it with Hot Wheels, and those of you who follow me on other channels will have probably heard Hot Wheels on my gaming videos and know that we were part of real wrestling together in the original stages of it early on. So basically it'll be interesting to see how we get on. We're taking ourselves off to Manchester for the weekend. I'll probably try and do some TikToks. Last time I didn't, and I felt bad that I didn't. So I'm going to try and do a couple of little TikToks just to keep you posted. If you're following me on TikTok, that's at PanPixie, P-I-X-C. So yeah, Manchester RumFest. I've planned my purchases already, kind of, but I'm gonna. That's the bar. The bar is set, if you will, for what I'm gonna be picking up. But then if something wows me or I really want to get that instead of a restock, then I will. But personally, I know 3 rums already that I want to pick up, one of which is a new and 2 are restocks. Then it's anybody's guess if I go higher than that. But 3 bottles is what I'm thinking. It's a very dangerous game for me this year, I think, because I've saved quite a bit of money, but I've also not exactly had a cheap and well budgeted month, and it's right at the end of the month, unfortunately before payday, so I might have to be a little bit tight on budget. But let's have a look at the exhibitors. If you are a fan of rum, quite a lot of these are big names, or you should know quite a few of these, but we'll go through and I'll give you my thoughts. So obviously Monins, they're sugar syrups. If you don't know Monin, that's what they do. And to be honest, I have a lot of Monin syrups on my bar behind me, in the corner. So I do kind of rate them, and it mean that I might end up dabbling in the cocktails when we go. I don't know. I kind of want to, because I'm not sure that I can get to the venues that the cocktails might be in outside of RumFest. So for the evening, I might not be able to actually, sample them, because Hot Wheels, as you can guess, is in a wheelchair, and it would be a bit of a task. I was a bit gutted to find out earlier that Junior Jackson, which is a venue on Oldham Street, doing a Dropworks cocktail, I can't get into there. Like, we can't get in because he's not allowed downstairs. I don't know if it would be cheeky for us to go down and say, can we come down and sample? Can we get a round of that cocktail in and take one up for his mate who's in a wheelchair? Maybe that's an option. I might tag Junior Jackson or see if Dropworks can help us out there. But either way, I know Manchester's notoriously bad for disabled access venues, and all the really cool bars seem to be downstairs in a basement, or up a flight of stairs with no lift access, or just not accessible because there's a tiny step that he won't be able to get up. But we'll live and learn. Hopefully there'll be some options for us. Anybody got any recommendations, pop them in the comments, because I'll be keeping an eye on the socials. So we've got Ron Cristobal, Patrodom, SBS, Single Origin Series. None of them I'm familiar with really. Same with Henstone, they're new, they're debuting. Precious drops again. No, if you don't know Mount Gay, where you've been hiding, Mount Gay is like been around for a long time. I can't remember if they're like one of the oldest rum brands, but good quality. But the only way I'm turning up and having a go with Mount Gay is if they've got an interesting new rum on the go, because I would like to try it, because might be one to get my dad for his birthday. Obviously these years I missed them out. That's food. I'm sure it'll be banging. I might end up trying it this year because, yeah, the last 2 years I have been a little bit drunk and I need to make sure that I'm alright this year. So, we carry on. Carupano, they were there last year. They do some cool thing. I'm not particularly interested in them as a brand, having tried them last year. But they did have a cool tasting thing going on last year, so hopefully they'll do that again, because as much as I might not particularly like their rum, that's something that people can get involved in, and it's quite nice. But I did see them on the video and clock that is the rum that I tried from Venezuela that I didn't like. Ron Companero, I've tried their stuff, had some samples with my mate, and they were really nice, but they are quite strong. So don't know if I'll want to risk getting involved with them this year. Dip has no clue. Does it say Martinique? Yeah. So it's in that selection of Martinique and Agricoles and stuff like that I want to get to this year. St. James is one of the main ones I want to try. Make sure I try. El Galipo is for me okay, but I won't be going and trying, because I tried the pink rum and I was blown away by the pink rum when I first tried it. I've since gone off it a little bit. I'm not so keen on it, but also I got gifted a bottle of their spiced, and it's, in essence, it's a good budget rum to have, but it's not wowing me. I'm not that impressed with that. Remedy, I've got a little short bottle of, a little small bottle of, and it doesn't really thrill me, so I'm not too bothered about them. We've got Yellow Snake. I can't remember if I tried them last year, but they were there last year, I believe. Bounty is a cheap option, I think. They are decent. St. Lucia, good rum. You know it's going to be good quality, but it's a cheap, cheerful option. I don't need to taste them because it's cheap enough to buy a bottle whenever you want. They might have some more aged stuff, but I think generally their stuff's quite budgety, which is, it's always good, because, as I said, I find it really hard to get people into rum if it's not cheap. And if it's cheap, it's not always going to be good. Yes, don't go out there and spend loads of money on rum, because sometimes the really expensive stuff is also crap. But if you're getting cheap rum, there's a high chance it's going to be very burny, and that's what puts people off sometimes, I find. Don Papa, I might actually try and make an effort to go and try their rum, because they're one of the supermarket strong brands that I've never really bothered with. And they were there last year, but because I was trying to be good, I didn't get to them. Green Island, I tried, didn't particularly rate it, but the main problem for me was the vendor last year was a bit like about as enthusiastic about the rum as a wet fish or a gin drinker. It just wasn't what you want. When you go up to a brand, you want them to be enthusiastic about their brand. They want them to want to talk to you. He felt like maybe he was a kid, like a son or something of the brand owners, maybe, that had just been given the task of doing that event, and he wasn't really that bothered. Or maybe he could sense that I was a bit of a rum aficionado, and he just didn't want to get into a conversation. It's quite a task, I'm sure, being at an event for like a whole day and talking to loads of people who love rum and loads of people who just want to try whatever they can try. But the Dodo bottle, I do want to try the rum from the Dodo bottle, unless it's just standard Green Island rum, because the Dodo bottle does look impressive. Tilambic, not tried, looks exotic, worth a try. Here we go, Island Slice. Let me quickly scroll down a bit so you can see what's coming. Island Slice is a brand that I love. I've tried all of their selection from 2 years ago when they were there. I was there with my mate Ben, who went with me last year as well, and basically they're, pun intended as well if you're watching, Ben, Scotch Bonnet rum is to die for. It's amazing stuff. Yes, it does have a bit of burn, but it has a burn that you can tell is coming from a Scotch Bonnet. It's just it's not like, ow, I don't like that. It's smooth still, and it's amazing. Highly recommend trying Island Slice of Rum if you're at RumFest. Definitely give them a go. They've got some other weird and wonderful flavours, I think, in their rums. And they're based in Scotland, so it's always good to support British rums. I think their rum comes from St. Lucia. I'm not entirely sure, but distilled, etc., sorted out in Scotland. Pussers. If you haven't tried Pussers, you have to try Pussers. I personally would say gunpowder proof or standard. Don't entertain the spiced. I mean, if you like spiced rum, by all means give it a go, because Pussers is a great brand. But I just can't in good. My dad's Navy, and he will not touch the spiced. I think he tried it once and hated it. So I'll just take his advice on that one, because he knows what he's talking about with Pussers. JM, again, another one that I want to get to. I've not got to that yet. Anglesey, one of Ben's favourites. Definitely worth checking out. I'm not overstruck. They're not bad. They don't wow me. They're not. They're decent. They're decent quality. Chairman's Reserve, standard. Another supermarket strong rum. If you haven't tried them, definitely give them a go. Really good quality. St. Lucia. I have been to St. Lucia once and did have some in a jewellery shop, and it was really nice. And they are lovely people, and they're like, "Oh, do you want some more? Do you want some more?" And I'm like, "No. Like, honestly, like, love it, but don't want to be." Typical British response, don't want to be rude. Ninefold, again, another Scottish rum brand. Tried their rums last year. Said I'd buy a bottle at some point after RumFest. Never got round to it. So this year, I am not taking any chances. That is definitely one of my picks for this month. Incidentally, I forgot to mention, Island Slice Scotch Bonnet is another one of my bottles that I'm thinking of picking up. Ninefold, I don't know which one it is. So unfortunately, what's his name? I forget his name. I'm going to have to try all your rums again, because I've forgotten which one it was that I liked. Nord are a good brand. I've tried their rums. Don't particularly feel like I need to get any more Nord, like specifically Nord rums, because I think they also do another rum, which will come up shortly. But Nord, not particularly that fussed, but they are decent, worth a try. Plantaray, one of the best brands out there. One of my favourites. Personally love Stiggins Fancy pineapple rum. It's just amazing. And I want to find out from them which is the bottle that they did that they have put Dropworks rum in, because, and I will hand on heart with this one, I was informed that Dropworks have sent them some rum to work with, and they're working with it on a particular bottle, and Dropworks don't want any credit for it, and they don't want, the rub, if you will. Plantaray, I'm not going to mention them in the bottle, so I don't know if I'll be able to find out which one it is. So Dropworks, Plantaray, if either of you guys are watching and you can just let me know, just because my memory's a sieve and I really want to know which one it is so I can try it and enjoy the combination of Plantaray and Dropworks, because it's two brands that I really love. Cane Rock, again, part of the larger brand of Plantaray. Cane Rock is one of the few rums that I've got in my collection, still might have a shot or two left, that various friends of mine have all said that, oh, this is amazing, this is good stuff. So that's a highlight if you do get a chance to try that. Obviously, we're moving a little bit further down. We've got Revival. Carib is a beer. We're not here for the beer, guys, are we? We're not here for the beer. Revival and Dropworks. Revival, I feel like they probably do a good daiquiri based on that picture. I might have tried it last year. I think they were there last year. But I don't remember them. They haven't stuck in my brain. Dropworks, big fan. Being down to the distillery, if you do get the money, have the funds, and you do have a designated driver to take you, do go to Dropworks. Maybe even just try and book a trip down there. And there's a farm shop next to the distillery that the designated driver can go and have a look around while you go have a tour and maybe get a few cocktails down here. It's really, really worth it. Darren is amazing. And basically Dropworks will be there. And I'm not going to lie, I might still go and try some of their stuff. Again, another brand that I could get a bottle of, but they're not top of my list at the moment because there's so many options. And the bottle I've got, I've still got a fair chunk left of it. And the other option would be to get Barrel Drop, which is one of their newer ones. And I would kind of like to get a bottle of it, but yeah, priorities are other rums at the moment because of I know what all their stuff tastes like. And you know me, I do like the novelty of a new rum. Speaking of purchasers, Anne Bonny. Now, Anne Bonny is such a nice bottle, looks like a whiskey bottle. It's amazing taste. If you know Steve Obama, it's unctuous. Shout out to Steve for that. I know he can't make it this year. But yeah, Anne Bonny is well worth a try. If you haven't tasted it, get some down here. Let me know what you think. It's a mixed blend of, I think, English, Spanish and French rums. So yeah, it's quite fruity as well. So definitely recommend it, but I'm running out of that in the next few maybe a few shots or drinking sessions. Clermont Clermont's like Agricole, one of the ones that I keep failing to make it round to because I'm not a big Agricole drinker, but I do want to try their range so that I can think, oh, let me get a bottle of Agricole for the bar, because obviously it's nice to have a selection. Everybody says, you've got a problem, you're an alcoholic. I goes, if I was an alcoholic, none of them would be there, they'd be empty. So think on that. So yeah, but do drink responsibly, guys, because, I like to think I do, but I do like a session every now and again, and I'm having to be careful with this year's RumFest. Dear Blessy, I've tried the Clementine Spiced rum, great rum. I want to try the hibiscus and coconut and the potentially the other one as well, just to see what they're like. Love the clementine spice, as I said, but yeah, I've not tried anything else they've done. So let's get on that. West Grove Punch, Rum Punch. I have picked this one out as a recommendation for Hot Wheels because he likes his liqueurs and he's not really a heavy rum drinker. He's more of a whiskey and a gin drinker. I know, can't be helped, but yeah, so that might be one that we go and have a look at and see what that's like. No idea how it's going to land, but that's a new one, so yeah. What else have we got? We've got Black Top. I've tried them, I think, but I was quite gone by the time I tried them. They were right near the end, so I don't know how well that was. Black Top do a special edition that I've always said, if I win the Euro Millions, I will buy the special edition Black Top for, like, I think it's like 400 or 800 quid or something silly. It's like silly money, but I would buy it for my dad, and I would give it to him as a gift and say, right, what I'm going to say to you now, Dad, is I want to have a top with you when you open it, and like, if you want, like, special occasion or like, but soon we're going to open it, we're going to have some, then you must drink it, or at least attempt to drink the bottle before you go. Sorry for the morbidity there, but yeah. What I mean is, I don't want him to leave it for me to drink, because I bought it in for him to drink, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, little story for you there. But Takamaka, so pretty into this brand. Got 2 bottles in my bar. I've got the dark spiced and the Creole spiced. It's very different, and I also know that the pineapple one is used in Aku Punch in NQ64's gaming bars. So if you want to try the Takamaka pineapple in a cocktail, that is the place to go. And I can, every time I go to NQ64, I always have one of them. If there's other cocktails that I like, that's second. So yeah, basically I would recommend trying their rums, definitely. Tanduay, I've no clue. I will hopefully get to find out. State of Rum, I tried them last year. I'm glad they're back because I've got Hot Wheels with me. That's my second pick for Hot Wheels, is State of Rum. They do a banana cake rum, they do a chai rum, and they do like a apple pie rum, I think it is. But I think they'll have more options than just that in time. I think they really like. I'm liking what they're doing. I think definitely that's another contender for a bottle. Basically, I might just have to apologise and wait a month, wait until payday, like the week after. El Dorado supermarket strong rum, really good, really well-known brand. A lot of people really rate El Dorado. I don't personally like El Dorado that much. I might not have had the right bottle yet, but personally it surprises me because they are Guyana, and of the places that I tend to lean towards for rum, it tends to be the Spanish places and yeah, other like bits and bats from Caribbean. So Spanish Caribbean islands basically, or Spanish based rums. Not saying the rums are from Spain. So yeah, El Dorado. Then we got the Devil's Drop. I do not believe I've tried anything from these guys. If the Devil's Drop, no, it's not. The one I'm thinking of is Kill the Devil. I think that's the brand that I know, and they do like decent, like different special editions, and they seem to have a bit of a market there. Banditi, I don't know. Another Scottish rum though, so you know, always good. Antigua's English Harbour, again, not heard of them, not tried it, so definitely be interested to try it. Casa Baru, no clue again. Zoppa, no clue again. J Bally, no clue again. Spirited Union, seen them at RumFest, never really tried them. I think they were mainly part of the cocktail section, so I never really ended up going over to that. Worthy Park, top brand from Jamaica, definitely worth trying. I bought my dad a bottle of their like Overproof, and I'm pretty sure I've had a bottle from Worthy Park as well. I've definitely had a bottle of Rum Bar, which is part of the same overarching brand company, parent company, whatever. Rum Bar, decent. We tried the Rum Bar Cream. That was really nice. Worth getting involved in, but they are very funky Jamaican rum. That is what they're all about. It's both of them are pretty funky. Worthy Park is a little more palatable in my book, but yeah. And then you got Kakira from Uganda, which I really feel like I have to try, and Abrook and Mason from Sri Lanka, which again, just the location, feel like I have to try that one as well. So that's the rundown of Manchester Rum Festival. If you've not already got a ticket, I don't know whether it's sold out or anything like that, but it's 28 quid. And then on top of that, you can do rum seminar things, which are like £10 each, I think, if you get them with your ticket. I've not put myself in for any of the seminars because I'm going with a friend, and I don't know if my friend would want to spend an extra £10 on a ticket just to sit and listen to someone talk about the rum, when that's literally what we're going around and doing, and I don't know like how much it's worth it. I need to do it one year, but this year I'm just going to continue on as normal. I think the plan is see how I've done this year with saving and how much rum I end up buying and stuff, and then just sort of like try and see, do I need to save a bit more rum, save a bit more money for rum. So yeah, that was the rundown of Manchester RumFest. So yeah, as I said, RamblingRumspert gonna be at Manchester RumFest. I'm going on the Friday evening, so you might see me in Manchester having a drink. Again, feel free to come and say hi. I'm going to try and be in a Hawaiian shirt all weekend. I think the only time I won't be is possibly on the Sunday on the way home. But yeah, just it'd be awesome to chat to some people who've watched my videos, or maybe some people who've just recognised me from last year's RumFest. I did meet quite a few people, but I won't remember any names. But yeah, so I shall see you at RumFest, and yeah, thanks for watching.